If you're helping a child add or subtract fractions and they aren't sure what to do, don't worry. I'm Marie from This Child Can, and I'll show you a simple way to explain what's really happening. So, pizza fractions. Let's start with the kind of question a child might see. So here we have 3/8 plus 2/8. They see 3/8 plus 2/8, and quite often they think, well, I'm adding the 3 and the 2, so surely I add the 8 and the 8 as well. So you might see this as an entire sentence. 3/8 plus 2/8 equals 5/16. Now, if a child does that, it doesn't usually mean they're being careless. It normally means they're following a pattern that often works in maths. Add the top bit, add the bottom bit, done. But with fractions, we need to slow down and ask, what are we actually counting? Here, we have one whole pizza split into 8 equal slices. That bottom number, the denominator, tells us what kind of pieces we're talking about. So a child-friendly way to explain it is like this. The bottom number is like the pizza cutter. It tells us how many equal slices were made. Now I'm going to shade 3 of those slices in. That gives us 3/8. This 3 here. The top number, the numerator, tells us how many of those pieces we have. So you could say to the child, the top number is like the plate. It tells us how many slices we've got. In this case, 3. So here, the pizza cutter made 8 equal slices, and we've got 3 of them on the plate. Now, let's add 2 more 8s. So altogether, we've got 3/8 up here, and 2/8 down here. We can write the fraction number sentence like this. And here's the important bit. We're not changing the size of the slices. They are still 8s. We're only changing how many slices we have. So we add the top numbers. 3 plus 2 equals 5. But the bottom number stays the same because the pieces are still 8s. So 3/8 plus 2/8 equals 5/8. And a useful way to say this to a child is the pizza cutter hasn't changed. The slices are still the same size. We're just counting how many slices we've got. And that's the part that really matters. We're not just saying don't add the denominators. We're showing why the denominator stays the same. Because if a child only remembers don't add the bottom numbers, they might remember it for this question, but lose it when the question looks a bit different. So let's go back to the common mistake. If a child writes 5/16, like you can see, you could ask, what would the 16 mean? And if they're not sure, you can show them. This pizza has been cut into 16 equal slices. These are much smaller pieces. So if the answer were 5/16, that would mean the pizza had somehow changed from 8 into 16. But that didn't happen. Nobody came along with a tiny pizza cutter and chopped every slice in half. All we did was to add more 8s. So the answer is not 5/16, it's 5/8. Now, let's try a subtraction because the idea is exactly the same. Suppose we start with 5/8 of a pizza. Then 2/8 are eaten. So we're working out 5/8, take away 2/8. And again, I'd ask the same question. Have the pieces of pizza changed size? The answer is no, they are still 8s. So we keep the denominator as 8. And now we just subtract the top numbers because the number of pieces has changed. 5 minus 2 equals 3. So 5/8 minus 2/8 equals 3/8. And a clear way to say this to a child is we had 5 pieces, we took away 2 pieces. The pieces are still 8th size pieces, so we have 3/8 left. The pieces are still the same size. And if the child is ready for a little more challenge, you could ask, why does the denominator stay the same? And the answer we're hoping for is because the pieces are still the same size. They haven't changed. And that tells you they've understood the idea, not just remembered what to do. So the key idea is this. When we add or subtract fractions with the same denominator, the denominator tells us what kind of pieces we're counting. And if the pieces are already the same kind or the same size, We don't change the bottom number. We just add or subtract how many pieces we have. Thanks so much for watching. If this helps you, please like the video and subscribe to This Child Can for more calm, practical explanations for parents, tutors and teachers.